the Foretales Podcast.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
We're about to talk some comics and get a little bit controversial. Everything from indie books to movie to level commercial. With no rehearsals when we converse to coerce you. And then we do the quick takes and try to get to the person. So join us and get your comic book a few more sales once a week wherever you pod. It's Foretales. Once a week wherever you pod. It's Foretales.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics, in collaboration with Fourth Wall Production, respectfully brings to you the 185th episode of the Foretales Podcast. I am your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the Mauve Scribe of Ace Blade, Danger Quick. And together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live via Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, no TikTok, unfortunately. They didn't want to talk, but if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. I do like that. I actually do like that right there.
It's good, but so what are you going to do with the one right by your face?
I can get rid of that really easily. So, there
you go.
See?
All right. See?
I could even move it. Put it right there.
No, put it back to where it was. I got the headspace. I literally have it right there. So now, when I read comments, I can act like I'm looking up. Act like I'm looking up at it.
Danger Quick, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. I'm feeling a lot better. Yeah. So, you know, I'm just glad to be here, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I do want to give a quick shout out to my brother-in-law. Today is his birthday, so happy birthday, Longtua. Hope you have a great day.
Happy birthday, brother-in-law.
I really don't have anything to talk about this week.
Sure you do.
What?
Comic books, man. There's been a lot of news in comics, bro.
I have not read a new comic, and you saw the stack of comics that I still have to read. I haven't touched any of those this week.
Yeah, but I know you've seen the news. I mean, we could talk about a lot of controversy that's been happening in the movies. We could talk about the distribution dates. Should Marvel and DC share their sales data? We could talk about any of that stuff if you want to. Okay. But that's not really what this podcast is about.
No.
I was thinking earlier we should do like a Hot Ones style interview with our guests. Like we should send them a thing of hot wings to eat while we ask some questions.
But see, we couldn't verify if they're actually using those hot sauces or anything. Like they could just be like, yeah, I put it on there, and so. But maybe we can do that at 5 Star Comic Con in June when we're all together. Which I saw today that Travis Gibb is going to be there. I saw Michael Watson's going to be there. Fish Lee's going to be there. So I mean, I do feel like we need to get
Daryl Banks is going to be there.
Daryl Banks is going to be there. A bunch of Power Rangers. I feel like we need a panel there, you and I, so we could do a live show somehow.
Yeah, we got to figure it out.
No?
Thankfully, we got plenty of time. So I think.
How much time do we have?
We have a couple of months. We got. Can you wait until that time of the show? You know I don't have that information in front of me.
I can't wait.
Terrible.
All right, fine. All right, well, you know what? I can't wait also because we have an amazing guest on today. It's the first time that he's been on with us, so I'm excited to talk to this man. Do you want to introduce him? Because this is your thing. I don't usually do this part. You want to do that?
Absolutely. We have the CEO of Heresy Studios. He is a writer, a letterer, a publisher of several horror comics for his company, and he's also written and lettered stories for The Advocator Presents and Nerd Nation Presents. He studied cultural history and psychology and is fascinated by the intersection of popular fiction and history. Joseph Duis, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, what's up?
Nothing much. Glad to have you on finally. And we thank Danny for reading that off, by the way.
It's always good when you can find a person's bio online. Like it's so much easier than having to put it together. And thankfully, you do the right thing with your Kickstarter. You have your stuff listed right here, so I can just read it off, or I can pick and choose things out of there. So, man, welcome to the show, Joseph. We've been friends on Facebook for a long time. Like we said before the show, we always seem to miss each other for the show. So we're glad to have you. For anybody who's watching who might not be familiar with your work, can you give yourself tell them what you do in comics and what got you started?
Yeah, I'm a comics writer. I'm also a letterer, and I also publish all my own stuff because nobody else will do it. So
that's how I feel too.
That's all this did.
And we mostly do horror comics. We've done some superhero comics, some public domain superhero comics. Kyron has done a lot of art for me between a bunch of different books, including this new one, Colorful Heresy. So I'm actually really glad that we're both on here and we can both talk about it.
Okay.
Oh, so this is like a double interview for me then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I can only talk about what I drew.
You get 2 questions and then I'm taking it over, Kyron. Make it happen.
Okay, fine. Joseph, what is a heresy?
What is a heresy?
I've seen your books. Like you said, I've worked for you for many years. But to you, what does that mean?
So some people were like, "Hey, you named it after Warhammer 40K or something." I'm like, "No, I didn't do that. It's named after Galileo, and what Galileo did was he said what he believed was the truth, and he was put in prison for it and charged with heresy. And so that's kind of what we wanted to do with these comics, is to say, like, hey, there's 2 types of truth. You know, there's actual real truth, and then there's emotional truth. And then I kind of wanted to like look at both of those things and kind of explore both of those things.
Okay. So for people that maybe aren't familiar with your work, it's safe to say that your work leans maybe not on reality, but just on the shifted reality in a way?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of history in our stuff is a lot of historical events. We really kind of try to set stuff in sort of the most appropriate historical moment. And since we do a lot of anthologies, we can kind of do that with different stories, and we don't have to worry about the things linking up exactly in time. So yeah, like you did that one for me with Super Heresies. We kind of had one that was set like right after the Manson murders, right at the Spawn Ranch in California, which was an interesting setting for a superhero story.
Yeah, and that was a weird story. You had me drawing it was a cross-dressy, because he wasn't trans. He just liked to dress up as an old woman to confuse people.
Yeah. And that actually was a real Golden Age character from the Golden Age of comics, as an actor who pretends to be an old lady, so he takes his foes by surprise. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So I want to ask about a refugee from Carcosa. This is a story that, of course, you wrote and Kyron drew for your anthology, Colorful Heresies 1 and 2. So first of all, I want to ask about Colorful Heresies, and then I'm going to ask specifically about this part of it, because I think it's 15 pages, right?
Yep.
So the anthology, I see you got a few stories in here a refugee from Carcosa. You got the one that is There's No Such Thing as Satan. That's the one that grabbed my attention first. What I've seen a lot of anthologies lately. What is the driving force behind this one?
So we did a story back in 2018 called Dr. Orange, and it's about a schizophrenic patient who carves a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween, and then she starts getting dreams that jack-o'-lanterns coming after her and kind of treating her as we treat pumpkins in that season. So she kind of gets like carved up and made into a pie and stuff like that. But the whole point is it kind of shows the ambiguity about what's real and what isn't, and that's kind of a theme that we use a lot of our stuff. So I wanted to reprint that, but I didn't just want to do the one story. I wanted to bring a bunch of other stuff that was color themed, because we've done black and white horror anthologies. And so I was like, if I'm going to do a color anthology, let's like just really lean into the color part of it and make it color themed.
Now, each story has a different color. Is that color connected in any way to like an emotion of that story?
Yeah, they're connected in different ways. So like the orange story is about jack-o'-lantern. The red story is about red shoes. The yellow story is about the King in Yellow from the Robert Chambers Carcosa cycle. And then and the green story is kind of themed around nature. The blue story has a big scene at a lake. So there's a lot of blue actually in the story. And then the indigo story, there's a bunch
purple.
of yeah.
It's indigo.
Yeah.
It's not purple.
Yeah.
He said.
Yeah, I shouldn't talk about purple with the ace blade here.
It's purple. I specifically want to talk about the purple story.
It's indigo.
Yeah. Indigo is one where there's like a bunch of trees, a bunch of indigo trees in the story that are important to the story. And then the violet one is there's this violet light that is threatening the world. So that's kind of like where the colors fit in.
Indigo and violet. I love it. So this story. So Kyron, if you can go up to the page. I remember you drawing this one actually. I think you posted a preview of it on Facebook, the one with the young man in the hospital bed. From your story. What I want to know, Kyron, when you're working on a story like this,
this is not supposed to be an interview about me, just so you know.
I'm asking you questions though, because you are an artist and you worked on this story. When you're working on an anthology, I know a lot of times people write these stories and they don't give you a lot of, history. They don't give you a lot of, direction to go with. So how much did you know about these characters before you started drawing?
I knew nothing about these characters before I started drawing them.
I mean, literally.
Yeah. Literally. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Joseph, you had somebody design the characters before, or at least you had the main character designed by another artist. And then,
yeah.
And then when I was
he just did the cover. Yeah.
Okay. And then when I was going through the artwork, I was all like, so I was asking, is there any particular like look you wanted them to have, and is there a particular setting type? Joseph was like, hey, it's just supposed to be Chicago in the 1800s. Family is a black family. You could do whatever you want with it. And I was like, all right. And that's one thing I think Joseph, working with me, I guess for so many years, he trusts me, and that he knows I'm going to hopefully put out good quality work for him. I was able to just be free in a way and just do what I want.
I like it. All right. So back to this.
That's what I like about having different artists is each story looks a little bit different. You don't have to have the same look in every story.
Absolutely. So Kyron, if you can go back up to that image and just zoom in just a little bit, I want to ask you what happened to this guy's hand right here on the hospital bed.
Okay.
What caused his hand to go like that?
I'm glad you actually noticed that, because that was purposeful, and it is something connected to the story. And I don't want to give out too much of the story, but how do I put this without giving it away? He's go ahead.
It's a little foreshadowing.
Yeah, he's learning how to reuse his body. That's the best way I could put it. And so you'll notice throughout the pages that, at least in the first few pages, his fingers and the way he moves is very alien-like. Like he's just as you see, he has his head wrapping because he had a bad concussion. He was hurt, so he's learning how to reuse his body in this story. Okay. And he's like babies do. You'll notice when the babies are starting to figure out their fingers, they move it in weird ways. That's what I was trying to portray with the character.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and actually look at the second page, the beginning of the second page. There's a little bit of hint in the dialogue there too in the first panel. When he says, "What are you?" instead of "Who are you?" Like he's like really, really confused about what's going on.
Yeah, and I love how it ends too with the there's something I must do urgently, but I can't remember what. I love those kind of stories where you're discovering what's going on along with the main character. I'm assuming that he's the main character of that story. So that's really interesting, man. We talked a little bit before, and I'm glad that this is already funded. I'm gonna back it today. Go ahead and get my copy, and I hope everybody else will also, man. I want to know a little bit about the process of making an anthology. I don't know if you know this, but I've been thinking about doing an anthology myself.
You're just going to do an anthology. Just stop saying you're thinking. You're going to do it. I know you long enough that you're just going to do it. It's already in your head.
So the process of making an anthology, like you said, I know there's some great things about it, different art styles and different, teams working on the project beside each other at the same time. But I'm sure there are some drawbacks too from doing an anthology. So what are some of the good parts of making an anthology and some of the bad parts?
Yeah, weren't you talking about doing like an Ace Blade anthology at one point?
I was thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's
just last week. Just last week.
Yeah. So there's actually two different anthology processes I've been involved in. One is these type of books, which I do very commonly, which is I do all the writing and then I do all the lettering, or most of the lettering in this case. And then I have different artists for the stories, and I have an editor. And then that's like a more simple version of an anthology. I've been involved in other anthologies too, where I wasn't running the show, and there was different writers and different artists. I have a story in Travis Gibbs' Cthulhu Invades Wonderland.
Cthulhu has invaded a lot recently.
Yeah. I keep forgetting what he's invading these days. But so
next year Cthulhu is going to invade Iran.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Don Hulu. I'm just sorry.
Iran, Lebanon, take a break. Yeah. So that was like a huge deal. It took a really long time. Had to like have people pick characters and compete for stories, and then pick artists and like do the whole thing. The way that I do these that I publish is that I'll generally write the stories separately, and then I write a framing sequence around it. And sometimes I don't have a framing sequence, but do that. And then since the stories generally don't have the same characters, and a lot of times they don't take place the same time or place, I don't really worry too much about like having consistency between the stories. And then I pick artists, and then I have the scripts edited. Then I pick artists, and then we kind of just go from there. And it's this one's a little bit different because I wrote some of these stories like a long time ago, and I just never actually published them. The one that I wrote first was There's No Such Thing as Satan, which is a 5-page story which I wrote 9 years ago now, probably, and then never actually had illustrated. So that was kind of sitting around. The Blue story I actually have published 3 times before, but I kind of wanted to have like a real forever home. So So that actually was published in 2017 or 2018. And I just sort of reused that story. So I had that script and that story. I already had the framing sequence done because we actually did do the entire framing sequence before the first issue was published, because it's really a 12-page story that's split over two 6-page parts. So we already had a framing sequence done before we even started the second issue. And then so we had the framing sequence completely done. The blue story was already done. The green story was scripted but wasn't illustrated. So I started with the green story getting illustrated first. I had not started writing the Indigo or Violet stories yet. I wrote the Indigo story. I got that illustrated. I finally wrote the Violet story, had that illustrated. So for this one, it wasn't a really organized, really efficient process. But for our next one, which is Toy Tales Magazine number 3, I'm going to have it all kind of done at once, so that and I'm doing the scripting all at once. I'm mostly done with the scripting, but this one it's a little bit more critical that the stories kind of fit in the places they are, and they fit in the framing sequence. It's going to be a black and white horror anthology based on or inspired by H.G. Wells' short story. So it all kind of has to fit together a lot better. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have Stephanie, the editor, look at it and kind of get it all figured out first, and then do that. So I guess there's different processes you could do.
The one thing I've noticed over the years is that you tend to do I guess period pieces. You don't do a lot of modern work. Is that, I'm assuming that's intentional for you?
Yeah, it's intentional. Part of it is, like I said, I just want to set stuff in the right historical moment, and I really like to talk about historical events that are related. So that's part of it. Another part of it is I just kind of want to get away from the present, I think, and get away from things like cell phones and social media. I don't think you're going to find a story that has social media in it for me. Dr. Orange, I think we had a cell phone in that once. But yeah, it's just that kind of stuff. And people talk about cell phones being difficult for horror. It depends on what kind of horror story you're writing, but something like a cell phone is kind of can destroy your story. So that's part of it. But yeah, the other thing is also I really wanted to. I've kind of started getting into art history and looking at different styles. It started with comics, and I'm kind of branching out other stuff now. But looking at comics that were made during a certain era, and then trying to sort of mimic that aesthetic style, has been something else I really wanted to play with, and down to changing the dimensions of comic and stuff like that.
I like that. So in the process for making an anthology, how do you deal with I know as an indie creator, Morgan Iverson says something all the time. Nobody has a gun to our heads. We don't have to rush it, but you might not have to deal with this with somebody like Kyron, who is always on time. In my experience, he's always been on time with his work. But how do you deal with delays or things like that if an artist or a colorist can't get their work done in time? Is there are there penalties for things like that, or do you have to scrap projects if you can't get things done on time?
Yeah, so I tend to use artists that I know are reliable. That's kind of go back to the same view. So that's part of it. I have put in contracts penalties for being late and stuff like that, but I usually don't enforce them because I feel like if you get the work done and you're making a good faith effort and you're communicating, then I'm going to pay you. And I don't care. And I don't have a publishing schedule. I do 2 comics a year. It's not like I'm in a big hurry.
You're not supposed to tell the artist that you don't actually, utilize the penalties.
Yeah. But I like to keep this stuff in there just in case it's somebody that I don't know. I do try to use new artists every once in a while, just to kind of get different styles. Like Carlos Henry, I've worked with him for the first time for this comic, and he's really he's really good. He's really good at communicating. He's a good artist. He's punctual. So um, I had wanted to work with him for years, and I just kind of didn't really have the right thing. But yeah, he does the Indigo story in this comic. So I've been pretty lucky. I haven't had a ton of delays and stuff like that. But yeah, that can be a problem. And the problem with this one being delayed is it was me. I didn't get all the scripts done on time. So I had to kind of go back and take a step back and take the blame. I kind of wanted to do it like a couple months earlier, but I got Kyra in the script like really late, and so he couldn't have worked on it earlier, so it wasn't that. And then the colorist, and I had to kind of be like, oh yeah, we did the art, but we haven't done the color, so we got to do that. And then like I didn't really take into account. So I'm not like in a huge hurry to do anything. I would rather have it done fine rather than on time. But I have been really lucky with artists. I haven't had anybody who's just kind of like taken the money and ghosted me. I do tend to, yeah, I do tend to kind of like, yeah, I do have bad people a lot. I want to make sure they've done stuff before. I don't want to be somebody's first comic book story,
I got ghosted by somebody that did a whole comic for me. I went to the second issue and he ghosted me. I'm like, all right.
And we have a brand new artist on the second issue. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
But I think also having like limited page counts and like doing an anthology, they don't have to be punctual like that much. If somebody's working on a 15-page story and somebody else is doing a 5-page story for you, if the 5-page story is a little behind, it doesn't matter. It's a 15-page one isn't done yet. So that's helpful. I got to work with Jamie Permack one time on Two Eye Tales of Dracula, which is another anthology we did. And it was like she was in between like issues of her own comic, and I was like, hey, I got like 8 pages for you to do. Can you do it? And I was really glad that she was able to kind of fit it in. So that was another thing, is just like do these really short form stuff first before you do a full issue with somebody, just to kind of make sure that they're reliable.
Now you mentioned that you only right now produce 2 books a year. If you had the opportunity to do like an ongoing monthly book out of everything you've done, is there one series that you would want to focus on?
I think what I would want to focus on and what people want to actually read are 2 different things. I would say Order of Dracula is what I think people really like the most from me. And I've got at least 4 or 5 more issues of that that I could do. And when I was doing the Crusader Dracula arc in it, I launched it really regularly because it was all one story over 3 issues, and people really stuck with it, even though it was like 6 months between issues. So I think doing that regularly, people really like. Super Heresies, which is our superhero comic, has not been as popular, but I have so many ideas for that. I could do that monthly for years. So yeah, that's probably my Two Eye Tales. I probably would do monthly too, because it's really easy to do as a really short stories, and just kind of package them together. But even like the really big black and white horror anthologies, they really generally keep like a bi-monthly schedule, probably not monthly.
This is I really got a lot to think about. I think it would be possible, but I would need a lot of help from like an editor or an editor in chief or just Kyron. All 3 of those people are him. So I
could do that for you. I edited a short story collection one time, and I edited a nonfiction book one time. But I was temping. I was temping, and they were like, "Hey, you're going to be an editor," and I'm like, "What?"
See, that's what I'm gonna use this show to just collect talent for the anthology, so that I can because I'm not comfortable with doing something like that. Like I'm so in on my, just narrative story, single issue, drop it and move on. I don't know why I would be so nervous about it, but I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier for me to do shorter stories, single issue stories. It does not come naturally for me to like do planning out for multiple issues. When I did Crusade of Dracula, I realized that I was going to have a 150-page story and I could not publish it all at once. So I really forced myself, and it took me years just to break down what's in each issue. And it was actually, there was a flashback story that goes in parallel to the main story. And I had to figure out like, where should I do the flashbacks? And I had a ton more characters than I normally juggle. And it was very painful for me. I haven't done it since. But I definitely want to get back to it at one point.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's time for my favorite part of the show. Quick takes. Kyron, whenever you are ready. Quick takes. I see that comment too, Will. Don't think I didn't see it. I'll be in your inbox. All right. So if you haven't seen the show before, Quick Takes is a rapid fire Q&A session where we grill our guests on their deepest, darkest secrets from the internet. These questions are actually just designed for our audience to get to know you a little bit better. You're going to have 45 seconds to answer. You're going to have at 5 questions, 45 seconds each. I always have a hard time describing this part of the show, but
English is very hard for you, isn't it?
Sometimes it is, because you could go either way, but you're going to have 5 questions and 45 seconds, 45 seconds each to answer them. And we're going to end with the top 5. Question number 1. I want to know, I've learned that you can tell a lot about people by who their certain favorites are. So I want to know, who is your favorite Star Trek character and why?
Oh man, that is a tough one. I like so many of them. Let's see. Garrick.
That you want.
Garrick. Elam Garrick from Deep Space Nine.
Hey, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
But why though?
He's just a very complex character. He works for the government and he really likes Cardassia, but he is just very shady. And he wants to do the right thing, but frequently he has to do the wrong thing for expediency.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll tell you, I really liked Quark from Deep Space Nine. I ended up really liking Quark by the end of that show. And I just can't explain it, but I was just like, this Ferengi is okay with me. This Ferengi is all right.
Ferengis are a complex group, honestly.
He had some character growth. He stopped being so sexist and stuff after a while. So.
Yeah, after a while.
His nephew helped with that.
Yeah, Nog was definitely a driving force in that. But yeah, that was a great show. Okay. Also, and it's not in the same universe, Star Trek, but Star Wars. You can learn a lot about a person from their favorite Star Trek movie. So their Star Wars movie. So I want to know your favorite Star Wars movie and why.
This is like the opposite problem since I hate almost all of them. I'm gonna say Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I like that one.
Okay. All right. Everybody see? That's the see. Now I got you. It's just, all right.
Yeah.
All right. So now this question is this might be a harder question, might be an easier question. You can only watch one of these movies for the rest of your life.
Oh God.
You have to pick one.
You have to?
You have to pick one.
Oh God.
And you can only watch this movie for the rest of your life. The Rock's Black Adam or Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. Which one are you picking and why?
Black Adam. Yeah. Black Adam's way better than Green Lantern. I don't even think it's a contest.
I don't know about way better though.
Well, it's all relative, I do like the Justice Society, so it was cool to see them. I thought it was really weird though that like Hawkman of all people was like, we don't kill people. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You're Hawkman.
Your whole
you got a spiked mace. You know, like Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate disintegrates people. Like, why would you be saying that? Makes no sense.
Your whole culture is based off of war. What are you talking about?
There were good things about Black Adam. I rather enjoyed Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern though. I liked a lot about that Green Lantern movie, but I'd have to agree with you. I don't know if I could just watch one of them for the rest of my life though. Okay.
Wait. Before you going back to that, since you picked Black Adam, is it more you're watching it for the Justice Society portions or the rest of Black Adam?
I think the Justice Society portion. Okay. Although I will say about Green Lantern, it wasn't as bad as people said. There definitely were some real problems with that, but like it wasn't like 100% bad.
No, it definitely wasn't. It was worth watching. Okay, so I saw in your bio that I think you said that you just stopped procrastinating and decided to actually do it. I want to know, what is the one thing that's worse than procrastination when it comes to creativity?
That's hard because procrastination is really, really bad. Maybe being broke.
That's my answer right there.
Well, dang.
You know what actually is really bad is having a big ego and thinking that everything you drop is gold. You got to kill all those things that you really like but don't serve the story. When I do lettering, I really hate myself as a writer because I'm like I'm so loquacious as a writer, and then I have to cut stuff. And sometimes you lose good stuff, but most of the time it's not good. You know, you have to realize that there's a lot of words that don't need to be in there.
You know what? I've never thought about that, but I letter most of my own stuff too, and I definitely use lettering to keep my ego in check because I'll put 1,000 words out there if I need to, and or if I want to. But you know, when you're lettering, you literally cannot. You literally cannot. So I think I've gotten better at that over time, you know, with the script. So that's a good perspective. All right, so for the fifth question, we always do a top five. Shout out to Top 5 Live, which I hear may be coming back soon. Who knows? We just passed them in episodes. I think this is 184, right?
185.
185, yep. And we had 184 episodes of Top 5 Live. So
they got Top 5.
Wow. That's unnecessary. But so for your fifth question, I'm gonna get you to a top 5 list off the top of your head. This may be impossible, but I want to know, what are your top 5 heresies?
Top 5 heresies. You mean things that I don't want you to say, or things that the powers that be don't want you to say?
Well, I would say the powers that be don't want you to say. So, but your top 5 things that, well, I don't want to get you in trouble, but the powers that be may consider heresies.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So top 5 heresies. I think one thing is that Kickstarter sucks. I think it actually is the best worst option right now. Another one is that I can't write, I can't draw. Yeah, you can. You got to learn how to do it. I think writing is not as much of a learning curve, but it definitely is something. There is a difference between writing words on paper and being good at it. But everybody can write to some extent. And I think this, the same is true of drawing. I started drawing when I was a kid, but I never actually got better at it. So I'm basically drawing the same way as I was when I was 13. But it was because I didn't study it. I didn't put effort into it. And I think that if you put effort into something, whether it's writing or drawing, you definitely can do it.
Absolutely. Give us one more, even though we're out of
time. Let's see. How about you should never do your own lettering? I think you should. You can do your own lettering. You don't have to though. I'm not the best letterer, but I think well, first of all, I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy learning the craft. I enjoy getting better at it. I could definitely see that I've improved. But like you said, I think it also helps me get my scripts to be better. So
I think you're pretty good because I saw that page on your Kickstarter and I was like, I don't remember lettering this, but it looked just like my work. And I think I'm okay. I'm not great, but I am okay. So I was like, I use that same font and, and that same style of word bubble, like the non-traditional word
it's a bland bot. Yeah.
So, well, thank you for doing that. This week, Quick Takes is brought to you by 5-Star Comic Con. We have 99 days, 3 hours, and 19 minutes to go. Kyron and I will be in Dayton, Ohio at the Dayton Convention Center, along with Tony Clapper, along with Daryl Banks, and a bunch of Power Rangers, apparently. So if y'all are in the area, come out and see us.
You going all the way, Kyron?
I am. I'm flying from California to Dayton, to either Dayton or Cincinnati.
Flying into Cincinnati.
I don't know which one.
Am I picking you up in Cincinnati? Is that the plan?
Well, okay. So here's the thing. It depends on the flight cost because Tony said if I fly out of Cincinnati, it can be cheaper. So if I find a cheaper flight to Cincinnati, I'm gonna take it, and he said he's gonna pick me up. Okay. If not, if Dayton's still cheaper, you can pick me up from the airport.
Okay. Either way.
Yeah. Are you going to be there, Joseph?
Not that I know of. When is it? It's in June, right?
June 20th and 21st. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure everybody else is going. You can come too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me think about it. It's a long way to go. It's not as far. It's for you. Yeah. But yeah, it's a long way to go from Colorado. I actually have to go to Reno for work, and I'm coming back on the 18th, I think. But yeah, I'll see. How do I sign up for it if I want to go?
5starcomiccon.com. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
5-Star Comic Con.
But when are you going to Reno?
I'm going on June 14th. I'm coming back on the 18th. It's just I'm going to a Navy base there, supporting an exercise, so it'll be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How far are you from Reno, Kyron? Closer than
hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on traffic.
Closer than San Francisco.
That's it's right in the middle, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, like if you have free time, I can't for sure say yes or no, but I might try to make my way up there.
Okay. Yeah. So the actual base is like an hour east of there. Okay. So I gotta fly in there.
That's 3 hours for me then.
Yeah, I gotta fly in there, go there, and then come back. So yeah, maybe the first or last day wouldn't be too far for you. I don't know.
I don't know. But I am going to go to Modesto in April to go see. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's a comic creator also. His name is Javier Winnick. Javier Cruz Winnick.
Javier Cruz. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's going to be in Modesto, which is about an hour away from me. Originally, he's from the Bronx.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna drive down there just to say hi, meet him. So
Javier comes to he was at Heroes Con last year. He
was.
Yeah.
I didn't meet him.
Yeah, he was there. He sure was there.
All right.
Hey, is there going to be a Crocker Con this year?
There is, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Why are you interested in joining?
I don't know. When is it? Where is it? Oh, it's in Sacramento, right?
It's in Sacramento. Right now, it's the September 20th. Is the date that we're shooting for.
Okay. So. Yeah, I got a local con that I think it's that weekend or might be the weekend after. I don't know. I got to check. Okay. But yeah, we have a library con. Okay. It's a public library here. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll let you know when we open up applications, and if you feel like you can come, you're more than free to come.
Okay.
All right. This is the last 5 minutes. I have been really way off track of anything we normally do, but we appreciate you being on here, Joseph. We do want to make sure everybody follows your work and keeps up with you. So where's the best places online for them to do that?
So right now, the The Kickstarter is at colorfulheresies.com, no www, and it's HTTP, not S. But yeah, you can go there for the Kickstarter. I have a website, heresiesstudiosllc.com. I have a we missed one of the S's in there. Oh well, or I did actually. But yeah, colorfulheresies.com. And then I got a Blue Sky at Heresy Studios LLC. I have an Instagram at Heresy Studios LLC Comics. I don't have a Facebook page anymore, and I got rid of Twitter. So that's about it.
Okay. All right, Danny, where can people check you out?
Best place to find me is the website fourthwallpros.com. If you want to get me on social media, it's at the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Kyron, where can people find you, sir?
You can find me at tauruscomics.com. I am on all social media platforms at Taurus Comics. And this is the first time you ever checked out our podcast, you can go to our website, fourtalespodcast.com. That is the number 4, TALES podcast.com. You can listen to our previous episodes, purchase merchandise, support us that way. But join us next week where we are going to have Sarah Childs from Child's Play Comics on to talk about her upcoming series. But until then, everybody, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Music provided by my brother, Quix Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.